So today I initially thought I was going to be able to air my Essence report. What I'm doing is putting together a video and going over all the booths I visited, all the fragrances I saw, more brand focused and things like that. But it's taking way too long to edit, so I thought, you know what, let's put it off. Don't rush it and get it up as soon as I can. So I'm going to try to get that up tomorrow, and if it doesn't work tomorrow, it'll be up definitely by Monday. But today I'm talking about 3 new fragrances that are on the market, and I'm going to let you know about Tom Ford Soleil De Feu, which I've spoken about quite a bit. And then we've got Hermes Jardin CYTHERE. And then finally, the new Cartier, PASHA de Cartier Noir Absolu. So if you're interested in finding out about these fragrances, I'm going to do first impressions on camera. Although I've smelled these fragrances in passing, but I'm going to test them out on camera for you. So find out about these 3 new fragrances coming right up. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian. Yes, today we're talking about 3 new fragrances, 3 designer fragrances that are newly launched. And I'm going to let you know what they smell like today on camera for you. We've got Tom Ford Soleil De Feu, and then we've got Hermes Jardin CYTHERE, and then finally we've got Cartier PASHA de Cartier Noir Absolu. Have you gotten your nose on these 3 fragrances yet? So we've got 1 male fragrance, which is the Cartier, and we've got 2 unisex fragrances, which are the Tom Ford and, of course, the Hermes. I've got a bag here. I did some shopping as soon as I got back from Europe, and I wasn't able to buy these fragrances in Europe. Although, you know, the Hermes I saw, but I wanted to hold off and buy it here because I have a great sales associate I buy some of the fragrances from. So I keep some, I guess what I should say is I hold off on buying some fragrances from certain people that I visit and things like that. So the Hermes I smelled, and of course I smelled the Tom Ford, and then the Cartier I had smelled a long time ago from a lab sample here in San Francisco. So I was actually waiting for that one, and it wasn't anywhere to be found in France when I was in France. Nobody even knew it was coming out, and it's out here. So I'm not sure if it's already launched in France yet or not. But let's go ahead and start out with the Tom Ford first. I bought the Tom Ford Soleil De Feu. Here it is. And they gave me 2 samples like this. I always ask for freebies, just to have, you know, freebies I can pass on to relatives or someone, or use them up, like take them on vacation and things like that. So the Soleil De Feu is the 4th Soleil fragrance from Tom Ford. We have Soleil Blanc, we have Soleil Brulant, and we have Soleil Neige, and now we've got Soleil De Feu. So Soleil De Feu basically translates to fiery sun, and out of the 4, I still need to get Soleil Neige. And I think Soleil Neige is probably the most popular in the collection. Is it? Which of these 4 do you enjoy? And let me know if you've gotten your nose on Soleil De Feu. It's a Eau De Parfum concentration. The price is 50 ml, $2.95. I could not find a perfumer listed for this one. Most likely a Givaudan perfumer, I don't know, but it's a 2023 launch, obviously. And Tom Ford's website lists Tuberose, Sandalwood, and Benzoin for this one. So let's go ahead and check it out. I was not able to find a decanter bottle, so I prefer to buy the decanter bottles over the tiny bottles if they have them, but they didn't have it. But they were having a promotion. I got 15% off of this, so it's $2.95 for a 50 ml, but I got it 15% off, so it was like $2.50, I think. So here's the bottle. It's the white bottle. It's a 50 ml. Nice kind of copper colored label there. The Soleil De Feu, Fiery Sun, and I think the theme is kind of interesting. That's the color right there, kind of like a fire color, or fiery color, I should say. So I have, as I was saying, Soleil Brulant and Soleil Blanc. I don't have Soleil Neige, and I think Soleil Neige is the kind of musky one in comparison to the others. Soleil Blanc, I think, is the first one that came out in the series, and that's more like a beachy suntan kind of a scent. And Soleil Brulant went way more intense. It was very ambery and I think honeyed. So this one to me is definitely floral, and ambery at the same time. So it's kind of like a contrast. I get lots of freshness here and some dense warmth in there as well. And then it's kind of split up with some woods, if that makes sense. So the benzoin is creating the sweetness and also the ambery touches. And then the tuberose is the floral, white floral freshness up top. And then it's contrasted and balanced out with the sandalwood. This is kind of like a Libra fragrance for me. At least that's what the notes are, the 3 different notes. But most likely there's other things in here. I believe there's a bit of spiciness. There's definitely some resinous touches. We get that from the benzoin, obviously. There's balsamic touches here, white flowers. But I'm getting some spiciness and powdery touches for sure. Yeah, this is actually quite good. In fact, I kind of like this one more than Soleil Brulant. Soleil Brulant was really intense and it's not very inviting. This one seems much more inviting to wear. I think there's a creaminess here, the sandalwood meshed with the tuberose. I get kind of creaminess from white flowers to begin with, especially tuberose and gardenias, and it's nicely meshed with the sandalwood to accentuate the creaminess more. And then you throw in that kind of ambery, sweet, vanillic benzoin note in here to give you that kind of like resinous balsamic touch. No, this is really nice. It's really nice. I think this is definitely a solid release. I don't know why, but I'm getting some kind of a nuttiness in here a little bit. Like, what kind of a nut is that? There's a bit of a nuttiness, like walnuts or something interesting like that, or hazelnuts. But very nice. I would totally wear this one. So since it is kind of a fusion of freshness and also warmth, I think this is a great fragrance to wear probably if you guys follow rules, you know, the off seasons, like not summer and not winter, although this is totally fine as a winter scent, but because it has the fresh and the warmth together, spring and autumn I think is perfect for Soleil de Feu. So let me know your thoughts on this. Have you sampled it yet? Do you like it? Do you enjoy it? Are you upset at Tom Ford fragrances because they are now so expensive? This one seems like it's in the regular price point fragrances. Is that true? The large bottle is like 800 something. Still very high priced. Tom Ford fragrances have gotten extremely expensive, but when I can take advantage of a discount code, I will, especially when it comes to buying brand new releases, because the Neiman Marcus here in San Francisco was doing a price match with Saks. Saks was offering a 15% off promotion, and they usually do that. So if you have a Neiman Marcus, Saks nearby, and one of them is giving you a promotion and you prefer to shop at the other store, tell them, can you price match? This store is having this promotion. Can you please honor that promotion? I do it all the time. I have a lot of purchases at Nordstrom's, and of course I like to go to Nordstrom's over Macy's, and Macy's once in a while does the 15% off cosmetics and beauty, or you know, fragrances, and I ask my sales associate at Nordstrom and say, can you please price match? And they do it all the time. So if you guys like deals, this is a great way to do it, unless you prefer to go to the store that's doing the promotion. But sometimes some of the stores don't have everything that the other stores do, and usually they'll say no, that store doesn't sell this, but sometimes they'll honor it. But either way, I'm digging Soleil de Feu. I'll put it to use and report back on that one. But I think I really like it, and as I was saying, I prefer it over Soleil Brulant. Something about Soleil Brulant was just, I don't know, it's not as inviting as I wanted it to be, and this Soleil de Feu Fiery Sun seems very inviting. Alright, so up next we've got Hermes Un Jardin CYTHERE. Un Jardin à CYTHERE. So this is it right here. I did smell this in France. I didn't buy it. I decided to buy it here, as I was saying. I did not get a discount on this one. I should have probably asked. I don't know why I didn't ask. Maybe I'll go back. But they did give me a mini of Un Jardin à CYTHERE, I'll show you here. This is it. Sadly, it doesn't have the color that I prefer. I don't remember what color the bottle is. But this is a long-standing collection of fragrances from Hermes, which I really love. I first discovered Un Jardin on Mediterranean in 2004, and I think it's around that time when that was launched. That was created by Jean-Claude Helena, and really fell in love with the collection. They've got the Jardin sur le Nil, Après la Mousson. They've got I'm drawing a blank with the names, but now we've got the Un Jardin à CYTHERE. So CYTHERE is a Greek island. So basically it's a garden in this Greek island of CYTHERE, and basically it's the JARDIN collection. So basically all the fragrances are inspired by gardens. So if you like the idea of gardens, definitely this collection is for you. The only thing is these are all Eau De Toilette, so they're not the longest lasting fragrances. This is 100 ml for $149, so it's a bit pricey for Eau De Toilette, but I think they have some unique fragrances. And this is created by Christine Nagel or Nagel, and again it's a 2023 launch. So let's go ahead and open this up and I'll tell you what it is. But you know what? I think Pistachio is having a moment, as I was mentioning before I left on my trip. This is a pistachio focused fragrance, but it's also got olive wood in the notes. This to me is like a fragrance from my land where I was born, because I love pistachios and I actually used to pick pistachios, and the advertising photo for this shows pistachios with their flesh on top of it. It's this reddish flesh that it has, and you can peel it off, and inside it's the actual raw pistachio. So totally it connects me to where I'm from. So because olives are some of my favorite things from the earth. Really love eating olives, and when I smelled this for the first time, I thought, okay, I can pick up the olives and I can also pick up the pistachio, and this is just kind of driving me home and to kind of that kind of a sitting. So I think it's a very Mediterranean inspired fragrance for me, but to me it also is kind of nutty gourmand. Anyway, let's go ahead and smell it. So the bottle is definitely yellowish. I think this is the second yellowish bottle. There's the Monsieur Lee fragrance, the one that's jasmine and kumquat fragrance. This one, of course, as I said, is more pistachio and olive wood, it says. But there's definitely a citrusy touch and also some dry grassiness. Let's smell it. And yeah, it's definitely, I think for me, this fragrance is pistachios. That's basically what's running the show. But when you first smell it, you get some freshness. They don't mention citruses. I do get a citrusy top for sure. It's there. But then, as soon as you smell it again, the pistachios take over. So there's that kind of green nuttiness that comes in from the pistachio, and then the olive wood comes in, so it becomes very, very woody. But then it kind of marries the nuttiness of the pistachio, and there's a creaminess about it. The texture has this kind of a dry creaminess, if that makes sense. But again, it becomes drier and drier, and the grassy, dry grassiness kind of appears as well. I think this is a really solid release for sure. These two fragrances definitely are very, very solid. If you like the idea of pistachio, definitely check this one out. It's not a conventional smelling fragrance, and I feel like this is also kind of gourmand leaning, so it's also not necessarily a very kind of garden inspired, but I can see where Christine Nagel or Nagel is coming from, because I think she did a great job with this one. Really, I think it's totally wearable. Only thing is it's an Eau De Toilette. I haven't put it to test yet, so I don't know how the performance is going to be. But beautiful. Really, really beautiful. And I love the photograph or the artwork here, which is always what they do with these boxes and the presentation. And you can see the pistachio growing, the red round kind of berry looking things is basically what the pistachios are. And as a young kid living in the Middle East, I remember picking the pistachios and peeling them and eating raw pistachios. They're really, really good raw. I remember they definitely are nutty, but also there's a meatier flesh rather than dry, because when they're roasted they definitely get dry, so it's more nutty and hard. But when it's raw, there's definitely, like I said, a meatier flesh rather than the dry nuttiness. Anyway, that is Un Jardin à CYTHERE. I think it's definitely solid. I'm going to put it to use. There's a couple of fragrances in the collection I'm not a big fan of. I think the first one, the one of the lagoon, I forgot the name. There's a lagoon one. that's my least favorite in the collection, and I believe that's the first Christine Nagel or Nagel fragrance in the garden collection, the Jardin collection. But this one I think definitely very, very solid. Really think it's going to be perfect. And again, as I was saying, Pistachio is having a moment, so if you're into the idea of Pistachio, definitely check this one out. And then last but not least, it's all about PASHA de Cartier Noir Absolu. So I did a video several months ago when I first got my nose on a lab sample of PASHA de Cartier Noir Absolu. So at the time when I smelled one spray, I liked what I smelled. So this is the only one that I've opened up and wore it once or twice. I'm not really sure that I'm really liking or loving this fragrance. I'm liking it. I'm not really loving it. So let's go ahead and show you the presentation. Great looking Cartier box. And of course, when I go and buy fragrances, I do get a lot of great goodies. As you can see, it's filled up with nice goodies in here. But I have to say the bottle for this fragrance is super sexy. Really beautiful black bottle. And now the collection is refillable. So everybody's doing refillable bottles so that it eliminates waste. I still think they still create waste because you're buying a refill bottle, but I guess it's less waste. I don't know. Like Mugler did the refills for a long time, but you take your bottle in and refill it and bring it back. These you have to buy a regular bottle and fill it. So I feel like it's not necessarily that much of eliminating waste. But anyway, so this is PASHA de Cartier Noir Absolu, comes after PASHA de Cartier Parfum. This is also a Parfum concentration. Really loved the PASHA de Cartier Parfum, really did, because it kept some of the DNA of the original PASHA de Cartier from the early 90s, but it kind of modernized it and it created a more ambery, touch to the fragrance. Here, it's all smoke. Loads of smoke for me. But they've done Parfum, 100 ml for $138. Most likely it's Mathilde Laurent, the perfumer, but I couldn't really see anywhere printed with this. And again, it's a 2023 launch. And only notes they claim for this one is burnt wood and caramelized sugar. So let's show you the bottle, how sexy it is. Look at this beautiful bottle. So it is a refillable bottle. I'll show you that. And apparently this is how you refill. And I think, I forgot to check, but I think the Hermes might be refillable too. Let me double check that before I go on with that fragrance. I could be wrong. Oh, it is. It's a refillable bottle, as you can see. The only one that's not a refillable bottle is the Tom Ford. So I was right about that one. But let's go ahead and smell the PASHA de Cartier Noir Absolu. But what do you guys think of the bottle? Do you think it's beautiful? It's sexy? I like the whole black theme. Very dark. I think it matches the scent perfectly because burnt wood and caramelized sugar. There's something funky about this fragrance from when I was wearing it. So I think there's a bit of a weird animalic thing, more created from the burnt, smoky woodiness. I don't know. Something is just bothering me a little bit. But, it's wearable. I don't hate the fragrance. I like it because it's so different from anything else out there. Totally. And if you're seeing the word caramelized sugar, you're not going to get that. This is absolutely not a gourmand. It's more woods, smoke, ash. There's some aromatics under there because the sales associates at the Cartier, department, or the Cartier fragrances department at Bloomingdale's told me this is still considered a fougere. So because of that, I'm getting definitely the idea of some aromatics, maybe some lavender in here, but very hidden, very, very hidden with that smoke that's present, that's kind of hitting your face. The ashiness, the smokiness, the woods, the resins. There's definitely kind of a resinous ambery touch here, like taking labdanum and basically just the paste and only using its smoky parts of it, you know, to accentuate the burned woods part of this fragrance. So there's definitely a presence there. And the caramel is under there, the sweetness is under there. It's not like a gourmand fragrance whatsoever. It's more woods, and everything is hidden under the smoked woods kind of a thing. You know, I wore it a couple times, but I was actually very busy because I had just come back and really unloading you know, my suitcases and everything, because I went right to the store and bought it and came back because I really wanted to get my hands on this one. So I've had it for 5 days, but basically I only wore it one day, and it was during the time I was, you know, putting all my fragrances and suitcases away, and I didn't like it a lot, but I'm smelling it again now on the strip. It smells a little better. Maybe on skin it doesn't smell as great on me. There's a little bit something off-putting about the smokiness, and a bit of something sour astringent that's under there also that I don't like about it. But smelling it off the strip seems to be fine to me, so I'm gonna have to test it again. But this is definitely a non-conventional fragrance, something completely different, because I haven't smelled anything like this for men from the designers. So this is, I give credit to Cartier, because Cartier, I feel like, is a great house for fragrances. They do great work, especially this perfumer. I love this collection, the Pasha de Cartier collection. I don't care for the sport, and I also don't care for the other black bottle one with the silver top. I don't care for those two, although the sport is my least favorite, and then it would be the other black bottle one. But the original is great, and the Parfum is really great as well. This one would come after the Parfum, then the original, then it would be this one, because it's smoky, you know, it's very smoky. It might, or it should, you know, kind of sweeten up a little bit, but that smoke is so prominent, it stays there for a long time. So I'm going to put it to use. I don't hate it. I do like it, but on me it went slightly animalic with that kind of sour astringency of the smoked woods. There's something about that, the burnt woods part. But maybe it'll grow into me, because I like smoky fragrances, and I like the idea of smoky fragrances, and I like the fact that this is Cartier, a designer, to create something very unique like this. This is definitely a non-conventional fragrances. I personally don't think this is going to be very mass. I think anybody that's used to fragrances like Invictus and all of the flankers from, you know, very popular fragrances, you know, the Bad Boys and all those kind of things, this is totally going to be like a absolutely no. But if you like the idea of a little more daring or a little more challenging designer fragrances, this is it. And if you are only into designer fragrances and you kind of want to like graduate to more niche fragrances, I think this is definitely kind of niche style. I shouldn't call it a niche fragrance, but I'm gonna say more like it's a non-conventional designer fragrance, because I don't smell fragrances like this at all coming from the designers with the, you know, signature collection. So that's what I should say. I give them credit for coming up with something truly original from a designer. It's very original. And also the fact that it has sweet caramel, or actually caramelized sugar is what I should say, are the notes. I think don't think it's going to be gourmand in your face, because the burnt woods really does take over. And again, also the fact that they said it was a fougere, categorized as a fougere at the Cartier department. I am getting some aromatics under there, but they're very hidden with the smokiness and the burnt woods note in here. Anyway, those are my thoughts on Cartier Pasha de Cartier Noir Absolu. Let me know your thoughts on this fragrance. Have you smelled it? Are you curious to smell it? I'll say she did a good job. I'm just not sure if it's a very conventional fragrance, and I'm gonna let the fragrance grow on me. I think that's what I'm gonna leave it at. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. These are 3 new fragrances, 3 designer fragrances, 2 unisex, 1 for men. Let me know if you're curious to smell these, or if you've gotten your nose on them, let me know what your thoughts are. If you have any questions or comments, please do list below. Please like this video, please share it, follow me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll be back with more videos very soon. And I should also say, if you haven't caught my video from yesterday, it is the Europe haul video. Please go catch that. The day before, I did my Dior Eau De Parfum giveaway slash full bottle giveaway plus 9 bottles for sale video. If you haven't caught that video, go catch it. I'll be closing that video bright and early Sunday morning San Francisco time. So if you haven't participated, go participate and put your comment down so you can qualify. And I think that's it. See you guys later. Bye-bye.